Well, over 3 decades later, and it all boils down to this. It comes to the world-class facility, nothing else like it on the planet. Folks, welcome to Henderson, Nevada. We are in ProCaps, incredible destination facility where all of your vitamins and supplements are manufactured. And it's this gentleman right here who we are thanking, Mr. Andrew Lessman. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Adam. It's great to be here.
Long time no see.
Long time no see. It's just exciting to be. I hope I sort of take it for granted after a little while when we do the shows here, but it's very unique to provide you an opportunity to see exactly where your supplements are made. We have some exterior shots of the building, but you are in the inside on the factory floor. We had to build out this special studio with the glass in the walls are angled appropriately so they don't have reflection, so noise doesn't penetrate in. And also, the dogs aren't here this show, but the dogs could even come in because this is a separate, isolated studio, so all the special sanitary work that goes on around here can go on uninterrupted. But you actually see where your vitamins are made. Most of us don't realize that when we buy vitamins in supermarkets and pharmacies, most of the vitamins you're looking at are not manufactured by the brand on the label. They're manufactured by a contract manufacturer, a co-packer. They're not made by them. That company made no investment in a factory. We had to invest in our own factory, and I did that 40 years ago because no one could make vitamins with the standards that I wanted. So I was forced to do it myself. And 40 years later, here we are in Henderson, Nevada, and we have actually our foundational vitamin, really where it all started.
Yes.
It was originally called Essential 100. And today it's called Essential 1. It's one capsule. It's incredibly high potency, yet the gentlest supplement you'll find anywhere on the market. There's no product more gentle than this in terms of easy to swallow, won't upset your stomach, but delivering high potency. So what I wanted to do, we'll come back and talk about this in a few minutes. This is really our top Today special of the day. We also had our vitamin K2 MK7.
Right.
And because unfortunately we just have several hundred bottles in each of the sizes available.
Yep.
We were just going to talk to that for probably about 8 minutes, and then it's last call for the vitamin K2 MK7, and then we'll talk about Essential 1.
So just to reiterate, folks, the show tonight, we have a 2-hour spectacular with Andrew. This will be our final chance to get the amazing vitamin K2 MK7. There will not be an encore in the next hour due to limited quantities. Let me quickly take you through the pricing. Vitamin K2 MK7, really one of the newer kids on the block, but so important. We're following the science. If you're taking a calcium magnesium product, really important that you consider this.
Or just, we all eat calcium.
Right.
We all have our body's reservoir and reserves of calcium in our bones. We want the calcium to stay in our bones because that's how the bones remain healthy. We want that calcium to not leach out into other tissues like our arteries or valves of our heart or other tissues in our body, because that's calcification, which is undesirable and sort of an undesirable consequence of aging. So vitamin K2 MK7, whether you supplement calcium or never have supplemented calcium, simply the calcium we have in our body, the calcium we get in our diet, vitamin K2 MK7 is absolutely essential to making sure the calcium we have stays where it's supposed to stay, creating strong, healthy bones, and doesn't go where we don't want it to go, undermining the health, the elasticity, the flexibility, the resiliency of, say, our arteries, our veins, and the flexible tissues in our body, even like our joints.
I love it when you describe it as the traffic officer. It's guiding it where it needs to be.
Well, it ensures that it stays where it's supposed to stay, goes where it's supposed to go, and doesn't go where it's not supposed to go. That's why it's a good analogy to call it a traffic cop. And this is by far best pricing ever on the product.
Yeah.
That's why I think we're already down limited in quantity.
And actually, if you're looking, wanting to order the 360, we have fewer than 300 bottles available. So please consider, obviously, the maximum savings down here out of the 4 sizes. This is what you typically spend. That's the today's special. Significant savings, which is why it's been so popular. If you're ordering today, I mean, truly and honestly, down from down to 69 from 129, that saves you $60 if you're ordering this evening. A wonderful opportunity, Andrew, as you said. One of the newer, more recent findings in terms of the science, you've been talking about it for a few years, but only now it's caught fire.
Well, I wouldn't say it's quite caught fire yet, unfortunately. I've been talking about this for more than a decade, and back then I said it was perhaps the most important ingredient in terms of calcium utilization in our body. Because if we don't supplement calcium, if we don't even supplement vitamin D to aid in calcium absorption, we still have what little calcium our body will have resident in its bones.
Right.
That's the reservoir of calcium in our body. And vitamin K2 becomes even more important then, because what little calcium we have, we need to make sure it stays in our bones. We need to make sure it's stimulating the process, because the bones are constantly building and rebuilding and remodeling themselves. We need to make sure that calcium remains in the bones where it's supposed to be and doesn't go into other tissues where it's both not beneficial and actually harmful. So whether we supplement calcium or not, certainly if you supplement calcium, if you supplement vitamin D, it underscores the importance of that nutrient. There's no escaping the importance of that nutrient, but there's always, it's sort of, as they say, a two-edged sword. Calcium is vital, but we want to make sure we just derive its benefits and that we don't derive any potential harm. And that means vitamin K2 MK7 to ensure it goes and stays where it's supposed to, and it doesn't sort of trespass where it's not supposed to.
And Andrew, the integrity of this particular product versus others that you may find on the marketplace?
Well, simply what we did is we went to the best source of vitamin K2 MK7 in the world, where all the research, all the original research, the original science, that's what we do. Basically, when you look at how I go about making supplements, science is behind each supplement.
Right.
But if I'm looking at the science for purposes of deciding whether to make a supplement, I have to follow the blueprint that the supplement provides. And there's no better way to follow the blueprint in terms of vitamin K2 MK7 than to go to its source, and that's exactly what we did.
I always think it's important to know that out of the limited number of today's specials per year, the fact that Andrew selected this as one of them shows you the importance in his mind in terms of us taking it and enjoying this every single day. Here's now what remains. If you're looking for the smaller try me size, we have truly a few hundred bottles left. There's a 60 caps, a 180 or a 360. The only day this year where vitamin K2 MK7 will be a today's special. Everything comes with our 30-day return policy, our money-back guarantee. Everything that we're going to showcase tonight, we know is going to be easy to swallow. We know is going to be easy on our stomachs. We know is going to be full of nothing but the good stuff. And one of the things that you'll see throughout this and our other today's special, the Essential One, is that we get to share with you the story. And that really, Andrew, is what, you know, HSN is going to be celebrating 43 years this year. This company was built upon that, and something you've enjoyed doing, obviously, giving us the guidance.
Well, my company, I've been doing this for 40 years. And where I started was originally doing seminars for doctors on how diet and nutrition plays a role in health and disease prevention. And certainly an extension of that is nutritional supplementation, dietary supplementation. And the way I look at dietary supplementation and nutritional supplements, we're simply looking at nutrients that might not be as readily available from our diet as we would like in terms of vitamin K2 MK7. The only real diet that has it in abundance, or not even in abundance, but has availability at all, is a Japanese diet, because they eat certain fermented foods like natto, which is a good source of vitamin K2 MK7. In the US, there's really no sufficient, adequate source of vitamin K2 in our diet. So unfortunately, we don't get it. And what I was going to do is I didn't do this earlier, read some of the science, read some of the research on vitamin K2 MK7, because the quotes from the science are compelling, incredibly compelling. And this is from Calcified Tissue International.
I've heard great
journal.
things.
Yes. You have your copy at home.
Every night.
Yes. That's your bedtime reading.
Indeed.
The present study revealed more favorable changes in bone metabolism and bone mass indices for the two vitamin K supplemented groups. And we're talking about vitamin K2 MK7 from a journal called Disease Markers. Observational studies revealed a lower prevalence of arterial calcification and cardiovascular mortality in subjects, meaning a lower risk of dying, in subjects with a high intake of menaquinones, which is vitamin K2, and no effect of phylloquinone. And phylloquinone that's vitamin K1. That's the vitamin K that has to do with blood clotting, which we're not talking about that. We're talking about vitamin K2, which has to do with calcium metabolism. So again, vitamin K2 is separate and distinct in terms of those benefits. So this is from Disease Markers. Long-term supplementation with 180 micrograms of monoquinone per day, vitamin K2,
right,
for 3 years decreased arterial stiffness in healthy postmenopausal women, especially in women with high arterial stiffness. Progression of aortic stiffness, the most important artery in our body, the largest artery exiting our left ventricle of our heart. Progression of aortic stiffness was related to the severity of vitamin K deficiency. And technically speaking, as Americans, we're all vitamin K2 deficient.
Right.
Vitamin K2 has also the ability to improve lipid profile by increasing HDL cholesterol and decreasing total cholesterol. Concluding, vitamin K, especially K2, enables de-stiffening by impairing and reversing calcification of arteries, suppressing the inflammatory reaction in the vascular wall, and improving the lipid profile. And as much research as there is on vitamin K2 and arterial stiffness and arterial health, there's just as much research or more on the health of our bones from Journal of Nutritional Science and Vitaminology. On the other hand, the association between vitamin K status and cardiovascular disease, especially vascular calcification, has also been reported. Cross-sectional and cohort studies show that high vitamin K status is associated with reduced coronary artery calcification, cardiovascular disease, and mortality risks. So that's vitamin K2. We've always known about its benefits for bone health. Now we also know about the compelling benefits for cardiovascular health.
It's important to consider this. I wish we had more. We just don't. It is last call going out now across all 4 different sizes. I always hate to rush you, but this was supposed to be in our next hour as well, but we just do not have the quantity to support it. So again, a 30, 60, 180, or 360. Today, you're getting 2 today's specials, the vitamin K2 MK7 and the Essential One, plus extra special savings across the board on Andrew's products. So we encourage you, while you're shopping for this, maybe you've been needing omega-3, maybe you've been needing circulation and vein support, certainly add those to your cart to maximize on the savings as well. So with that in mind, Andrew, final words on this one?
I was going to read some more science, if we could, before we run along, because we still have, I think, a few hundred bottles left.
Fabulous.
So we'll just talk a little bit more about it, because once we run along,
we're done.
It's gone. It's done. So from British Journal of Nutrition, thus higher and more stable plasma concentrations were reached with MK7, and MK7 was more efficient in carboxylating, activating osteocalcin or bone protein. That's involved in our retention of healthy bone mass. In conclusion, daily intake of MK7 at doses in the order of the RDA, and our product is a little bit higher than the RDA, results in measurable changes and demonstrates the high potency of this vitamin. Clinical chemistry and laboratory medicine, vitamin K plays a key role in the synthesis of several blood coagulation factors, and that's vitamin K1, but it is also strongly connected to bone metabolism and vascular calcifications. And that's where vitamin K2 MK7 comes into play, by improving and supporting bone health and reducing arterial calcification. From clinical chemistry and laboratory medicine, the predominant dietary form of vitamin K in the US, Europe, and most Western countries is phylloquinone, vitamin K1, while the major form in Japan is monoquinones, especially MK7, which is a component of natto, which is a fermented food I talked about before. Daily intake of vitamin K in a Western diet, of which phylloquinone, vitamin K1, is the larger component, is 90% versus 10% of monoquinone. So we are absolutely deficient in vitamin K2 MK7. We get vitamin K1, and what that means, unfortunately, is that as Americans, we are not getting that benefit of vitamin K2 MK7 to arterial health, which is all about cardiovascular health, because when we talk about heart health, we're really talking about the health of our coronary arteries and other key arteries in our body. When we talk about bone health, we're talking about the bone's ability to maintain its good health and maintain that reservoir of calcium in our body. That's what vitamin K2 MK7 is all about. It does both.
I appreciate, though, that if we were to go into a store, into a vitamin store, and we saw this on the shelf, we wouldn't perhaps know exactly what it is or what it does or why it's important to us. I was reading on Facebook so many of your comments that while you watch, Andrew, you do the same as I do. You make notes, because there's a lot to take in, there's a lot to digest, and it's important information. That's all for the betterment of our health. So if you are intrigued in terms of taking a calcium product or making sure that the calcium that you're getting every day is certainly going where it needs to go, as Andrew said, it's like a traffic cop. It's making sure you're getting the most from it. This is an important product that is gaining in popularity year after year after year. If you would like to get yours, we are very, very close to sell out. So let me go through the options so you see exactly what we have. 30, 60, 180 or the 360. Normally the value is fabulous. I mean, really, you can see our HSN pricing along the side right here. On a today's special, as Andrew talks about, the economies of scale, this is an expensive product. Typically, with expensive ingredients, it allows Andrew to do things that we wouldn't typically be able to do.
And the price, if this was our 50 microgram, the price would still be wonderful. But remember, this is 100 micrograms per capsule. Specifically, we have a 50 and we have a 100. So this is the 100 microgram per capsule of vitamin K2 MK7. And off of that price, which we recently lowered because of savings on the material, that's the savings. So basically, it's almost a buy one, get one free savings. So for a very expensive ingredient, it's a very affordable product today. And even if you choose at one capsule every other day, it's like taking 50 micrograms a day.
Yep.
You're still getting tremendous benefits even at that dosage.
So there's every reason to do it. If you're curious, we invite you to go for it. Final call, obviously. We do wish we had more, Andrew, but there's only so many.
We'll let you know status later in the hour, but we're already down to, I just looked, we're already down to our last few hundred in each size.
Thank you for your orders. As we go along tonight, obviously,
yes.
because we get busy, especially when it's the finale show, go online. You'll beat the rush. You'll be able to check out easily.
Our status is better in Essential 1.
Yes.
So we have no risk of running out of the Essential 1. We're going to have plenty for the next 2 hours to last till midnight, so you don't have to worry about that. Vitamin K2 MK7, it was just some very brief airings, so our supply was relatively limited on that, but not on Essential 1. We have plenty to last the rest of the hour, the rest of the day.
Well, we're going to dig into this, and as you've been watching early, you'll know it's my favorite thing to do. This is where I started with Andrew, and this is where I encourage you to really sit back or maybe sit forward and take notice of Andrew's multivitamin. The greatest in the world based upon the science, the ingredients, the levels, and the formula that Andrew uses. It's unparalleled. There is no other brand. And we'll talk about the Centrums and the one a day. We'll do it. We'll show you the difference. You'll see that Andrew's multivitamin is one of a kind. Now, with our pricing today, we have gone all out. It's the most potent formula ever at, quite simply, the most compelling pricing ever. And I want to take you through it, because you've got a 50, a 100, a 200, or a 400. As Andrew tends to do on today's specials, you've got special sizing that you can only get today. That would be the 400, for example. That's what you'd normally spend, very competitive in the market. That's what you get it for today, and of course the savings are huge. We were doing a lot of different math scenarios earlier. I mean, really simply, if I just point out the 200, that would normally be $94.90. Today you get 400, so doubling up for not double the price, but even less than just the 200. That's less than 20 cents per day. Andrew, an investment in yourself, there is no doubt. You can't argue with 20 cents.
And there was an interesting review that I read earlier that said that this is part of their sort of self-care regimen, because they have no one else to take care of them, so they really need to take care of themselves. And what I say to that, that's very true.
Right.
But for those of us who have people we care for, there's nothing we do that's a kinder gift to those people than to care for ourselves. If we have people who love us, there's no greater gift we give to them than to care for ourselves. And life, as they say, happens.
Yes.
And a lot of us on a daily basis, we know we make decisions that might be less than ideal decisions. In the way we eat, we might smoke, whatever it might be. We know those things, those decisions have consequences. What I was talking about earlier with Essential 1 is it's a very simple decision, and unlike other multivitamins, it won't upset your stomach, it won't be hard to swallow. Unlike other multivitamins, it doesn't contain any undesirable additives at all. Unlike other multivitamins, it also respects you by giving you the levels of nutrients that will make a meaningful difference in how you feel in your life based upon the science. So it's not just some token pill that provides tiny amounts, insignificant amounts of nutrients. It provides meaningful amounts of the key nutrients. So that little 2, 3, 4 second a day decision that is easy to swallow, that once you swallow it, you'll forget all about it because it will never upset your stomach.
Right.
given all the other things that happen in our life that we might have no control over, that can be challenging and difficult for our health, this is one decision that provides only benefits, only positive results. So I look at it as an opportunity for all of us, no matter how disciplined we are or undisciplined we are, no matter how healthy or unhealthy we might try to be or not succeed in being. This is a product that just delivers on the simple nutritional science, which is vitamins and minerals. Those are essential nutrients. Their very definition is we cannot make them. If we do not get them from our diet, we do not get them, and then there are consequences. If you read the simple science, vitamin D and B12, most of us will be deficient or insufficient if we were tested. When it comes to vitamin D, upwards of 80, 90, 100% of us will be deficient or insufficient if we were tested. B12 not far behind, even vitamin C not far behind, most B vitamins not far behind. The numbers are frightening when you look at the epidemiology, when you look at the studies of our population. So this is an opportunity. A healthy diet is defined by the nutrients it contains. A multivitamin, multimineral should be judged by the nutrients it contains. No multivitamin in a single dosage contains more important, higher quality, more pure, easy to swallow, easy to digest nutrition than this product. And does so despite all of the investment we've made, and I'll go through that investment, does so at what I would characterize as almost a ridiculous price. At less than 20 cents a day, you're getting the equivalent of a separate vitamin D and the most sophisticated separate vitamin B12 in the world. You get those in addition to another 24 ingredients, including lutein, lycopene, zeaxanthin, our unique form of folate, as I mentioned, our unique form of B12, and all of them at potencies that are meaningful. So it really is an incredible value, and it's the simplest, the most straightforward foundation to supplementation. It's where it all starts. Things like CoQ10 and omega-3s and glucosamine and chondroitin, or whatever it might be, turmeric for your joints, whatever it might be, those have to be built on a foundation of healthy vitamin mineral nutrition that either comes from our diet, which in most cases does not, or comes from a nutritional supplement. It's the most affordable supplement I make when you contemplate the dozens of ingredients it contains, that it's in a capsule that's easy to swallow, that has no additional additives. Tablets are the cheapest way to make a product. So to think that this has all this nutrition, and it's in a capsule, and it's pennies a day, is an incredible accomplishment on our part, if I do say so myself.
You can say it, or I'll say it as well. I said my part-time job when I'm not show host is Andrew Lessman Ambassador, because I mean it. You know, as human beings, we all have different dreams and desires and hopes and aspirations, but the one thing that brings us all together, that draws us all together, is a desire for good health, for better health for ourselves and all of our loved ones. Andrew said it's one easy decision that takes but a couple seconds per day. This is a fabulous way to go. We will showcase and put side by side how this is a better product. I do want to tell you about these savings, though. Andrew mentioned that the formula that he has tonight, which is the most potent ever, has some of those really remarkable key ingredients. You look at the vitamin B12, that would typically be $78. Vitamin D3, another $72. You know, your calcium, vitamin C, magnesium. These are just some of the ingredients in Andrew's Essential One. That adds up to $247. Our price for the largest size, maximum savings, less than 20 cents per day, is just $79.90, and we're offering it on 4 flexible payments. Andrew, we mentioned this earlier, but I do think it's worth discussing. There are many of us that have taken various vitamins for many, many years, and we are always drawn in by certain advertisements and commercials. It's hard to hear that what perhaps we've trusted isn't as good as we first thought.
Well, I think what we might have trusted in terms of those leading multivitamins, in fact, what's interesting is that when we talk about the leading multivitamin brands, my understanding is that the most popular multivitamins in America aren't the leading multivitamin brands.
Okay. You've intrigued me now.
They are pretty much the exact copies of the leading multivitamin brands that are made by the leading retailers.
Okay.
So all of the leading retailers, whether it's, I'm sure it's Walmart or the grocery stores or whatever they might be, they all make their own version. Well, they don't make it. they all have their own version of the leading vitamins made, multivitamins made by contract manufacturers or co-packers somewhere. And that's where what I said, that the majority of vitamins taken in America are not manufactured by the companies that actually sell them. So, or the brand. So it's again, yet another example that, I mean, if you're one of those big supermarkets or things, you put them out to bid. And it's not as though there's someone on your staff who could tell the difference between whether it's cyanocobalamin or methylcobalamin, or whether it's a protected methylcobalamin or not when it's a vitamin B12, or whether it's folic acid or 5-MTHF, which again, none of the folks in the supermarkets or the discount chains really have the capability, nor would you expect them to have the capability to make those kinds of determinations. And they simply copy the product. So if the leading multivitamins, the branded leading multivitamins, don't contain lutein and don't contain lycopene or zeaxanthin at all, maybe a token amount of lutein or lutein and lycopene, no zeaxanthin, tiny bits, then guess what? The copies of those vitamins are copies. They don't either. And if they contain 30 micrograms of biotin versus our 500, yep, that 500 is the same level as my Healthy Hair, Skin, and Nails contained 20 years ago. They all contain 30 micrograms. So again, it's a disappointing, I don't know if you'd call it, it's not a conspiracy, it's just they all do it the same way. The leading brands are the leading brands, and even when they promote the leading brands, I could spend hours talking about how uniquely we go about manufacturing this product. When you see their 30-second or 60-second commercials, it's really just about imagery. It's about healthy imagery. Yep. They really don't get into the minutia. They might say, now with lutein in one of theirs, and the levels of lutein are going to be a tiny fraction of ours in this product. Or it might say that it's just generally, it's incredibly complete or something like that, or incredibly comprehensive, but not compared to what we're offering here. But they, of course, don't mention that that pretty colored tablet is an artificial color. And as I said earlier today, it's an insult to our intelligence. The only reason we choose to take a vitamin mineral supplement in the first place, it's a healthy decision. Right. It's about the health of those vitamins and minerals. The fact that we recognize our diet is generally deficient or insufficient in those vitamins and minerals. Might be because our doctor, our ophthalmologist, our cardiologist, whoever might have recommended it, but it's a health-based decision. There's nothing health-based about artificial colors. So the disrespect, in my mind, that's shown by putting artificial colors into an otherwise healthy supplement is peculiar to me. It kind of tells me that they really don't care whether their product's healthy or not, or perceived as healthy or not. It's just sort of strange to me. And I think it sums up the way they go about making their product versus the way we go about making it. Because also, when you make a vitamin tablet, I know that I get a lot of feedback on my products. If there's something about my products that folks don't like, I know. Yep. I guarantee those leading manufacturers of multivitamins, they've heard about how difficult their tablets can be to swallow. They've heard about how difficult their tablets can be on someone's stomach. Hasn't stopped them from making them. I'm sure they've heard complaints about the artificial colors. Haven't stopped them from using them. Whereas here, with my product, in fact, my capsule today is 2 sizes smaller today than when I introduced Essential 1 back, and that's because we're now in the desert and we could make things more efficiently. Yep. It's 2 sizes smaller, contains more than when I introduced it in 1979. And it's an ultrafine powder that will not upset your stomach instead of a rock-hard tablet like these that, I mean, look at that. And they even put a little line on that so you could break it. So you could break it. And who'd want to be swallowing that? And again, you could see the normal kind of vanilla color on the inside, and then on the outside you see that lovely lavender.
There's no need for it to be lavender.
No, there's no need for any vitamin to be coated with colors. And again, if we want to have fun, maybe colors in our candy, but not in our healthy dietary supplements. And my goal here isn't to bash these companies or their products at all. Right. But for their existence, I wouldn't exist, because they really were the pioneers in this industry long before I was born. So I'm grateful for that, but I would really love it to see them make some progress, to see them address what I know are the requirements, the requests the criticisms that they've received from consumers. Because I've heard those criticisms in the past myself, which is why my product has continued to evolve and gets better and better, which if you read our reviews on this product, there I think are over 3,000 reviews.
Yep.
Over 85% are 5 stars. Over 93% are 4 and 5 stars. Over 97% are 3, 4, and 5 stars.
Right.
That speaks for itself. I mean, I will read some reviews in a moment here, but that speaks for itself. We all understand the essential nature of vitamins and minerals. We cannot live without them. Our body cannot make them. We are not getting them in adequate amounts consistently from our diet. That's why a vitamin mineral supplement is the most minimal conservative recommendation for supplementation. And this is where it all starts. 1 capsule, easy to swallow, never an upset stomach. And the levels of vitamin D and the levels of B12 in my supplement represent separate nutrient levels, meaning if you bought my separate vitamin D at 2,000 IU, it would cost as much today.
Yep.
Well, basically, it's the price of the whole supplement today.
It is.
Or the B12. So you invest, if you're going to get either one of those, you're getting another 2 dozen ingredients for free. And
you
no
can't
upset
argue
stomach.
with that, right? I mean, it's there. It's plain and simple to see. And even if we just kind of hit pause for a second and rewind, just to Andrew's initial point regarding the form of the multivitamin. So a tablet. So if right now you're taking a multivitamin that is in the form of a tablet already, that's a loser. That loses out compared to this, because that's not as beneficial for us or as easy for us to digest. And that's only just the beginning. You couldn't take this away from me. And I say it every time I'm on with Essential One. I look forward to this day because I'm very enthusiastic about it, as you can tell. When you are in this job, it's very rare. You really should never say the word best, because we've all got different opinions and things are different and we all see things differently. I say up, down, left, and right. This is the best. It is the best multivitamin in the world. Why do I say it? Because you show me one that's better. You put this next to any other brand, this is going to be made in a better way, all solar powered here in Henderson, Nevada. It's done so well with such integrity. And I think that, you know, quality over quantity is a really important point when you talk about all of Andrew's products. Andrew is a perfectionist at this. And Andrew, if it's not right, you just won't do it at all.
Well, I wouldn't, but the funny thing is, this is one of those products where, in terms of quality, objectively, no additives, no colors, no binders, no fillers. It's in a capsule instead of a tablet. Consumers prefer these things.
Right.
Objectively. It won't upset your stomach. It's pH neutral, non-acidic. Objectively, those are just truths, that these are superior factors. So that's the quality. What's interesting about this product is it's also superior. Despite being mild, it's also superior in terms of quantity. We give you more of the leading multivitamins, or the leading vitamins, more than the leading vitamins provide. We provide more in terms of, we could go down the list.
Yeah.
As you can see, it's a long chart, and hopefully it's readable at home. But this is the list of all the ingredients. We don't put any additional additives in the product whatsoever. There's no manufacturing additives, no lubricants, no flowing agents. And if you look at the product, just this one little area here, between B12 and zeaxanthin.
Right.
Our special form of B12, the special methylfolate that we use in folic acid, because not all Americans, probably almost half, can't metabolize folate.
Okay.
Biotin, the levels of my original Healthy Hair, Skin, and Nails.
Expensive.
Lutein and zeaxanthin from Ultimate Eye at levels. There's no zeaxanthin in any leading multivitamin.
Wow.
90+% of them don't contain lutein and don't contain lycopene. A couple of them contain trace amounts, a fraction of what we provide here. And these are all ingredients, lutein, lycopene, zeaxanthin, folate, that for active quantities of nutrients, you're talking about thousands of dollars a kilogram. And a kilogram is just over 2 pounds. So we're talking about outrageously expensive ingredients, which is why when you look at those ingredients, the leading multivitamin uses standard cyanocobalamin,
right.
Not as active, not the natural form, a synthetic form, and also liberates trace amounts of cyanide. They don't use the methylfolate because methylfolate is tens of thousands of dollars a kilogram. They put low amounts of biotin because it's about $1,000 a kilogram. Or they put 30 micrograms, which is just a small amount, less than 10% of what we provide. The lutein, lycopene, and zeaxanthin pretty much devoid, not present in all of those products, again, because those cost thousands or tens of thousands of dollars per kilogram for active materials. So those are just expensive ingredients. But to me, as long as there's what we try to do, the only limitation I contend with is the size of that capsule. So, and we will not go with a large capsule. So this is the only limitation. So it's sort of, what do they say? It's like horse trading. I say, well, if we have a little bit more of lutein and lycopene, we might have to give up a little bit of vitamin C or a little bit of vitamin E. But ultimately, what I need to do is give you the most of the nutrients that have been shown to be deficient, significantly deficient in the American diet. The vitamin D, 2,000 IU. The vitamin B12, 250 micrograms. A full B complex, because we don't get those as we used to. Again, 120 milligrams of non-acidic vitamin C. So when you get the vitamin C, it doesn't make you sick. It doesn't upset your stomach because of the acidity. So many of us today struggle or suffer from GERD, gastric esophageal reflux disease, and we might be taking proton pump inhibitors like Prilosec or Nexium, things like that. Why would I want to add an acidic ingredient to my formula that's going to aggravate problems you already have? So again, that goes to choosing ingredients that deliver the benefits without problems. And that's the, I guess when we talk about medicine, what is the first rule of medicine? They always say, first, do no harm. For me, the first rule of supplements, first, cause no problems. Right. Just because I deliver a problem that offers solutions, a product that offers solutions, doesn't mean that you should tolerate a problem. So all of my products deliver benefits, deliver solutions, but cause no problems at all.
I sincerely hope we've helped kind of make you come to that decision to say, do you know, I'm going to do it. I've been taking my multivitamin for a long time, but I'd like to change to this. I'd like to try this. Or I've been meaning to take a multivitamin. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to pick up the phone and order it. There's not enough time in the day to go through all the wonderful benefits of this. It is the finest multivitamin in the world. We're busy, and it's the finale show. At midnight tonight, the price goes up. It's a one-day-a-year opportunity. Andrew does it. We stock up. We have, obviously, that large size, the 400 caps, which is going to see us through the next year. Let me put that full chart on there to show you. So we have the smaller sizes, a 50, a 100, a 200, and then the 400. You look at it and it breaks down. 400 capsules, that's $79.90. That's less than 20 cents per day for a better feeling, better health. I was reading through some of the most popular words that were used. Andrew had mentioned it with regards reviews, and people talk about energy. They talk about feeling better. They talk about more motivation. They talk about just having a better outlook because they know they're doing something good for themselves. Whatever has irritated you in the past, whatever was a downside to that multivitamin, the tablet was too big, you had to break it, it was difficult, it laid heavy on your stomach, it repeated on you. All of these things that we didn't like, you won't get with this. We want to give our body what it needs. We have to, because we all want to live a healthier or as healthy life as we possibly can for as long as possible. Let's do something good for ourselves with Essential One. I've been taking it from the moment I saw Andrew on television. 10 years ago when I landed in America and I turned on the TV and I saw this gentleman in a blue shirt and a fabulous tie, and I was captivated like you were, because Andrew tells us, he shares with us the story, the information, the facts. There is no hype here. There is no, song and dance. It is just the real information.
Well, there's no reason for hype when the facts suffice.
Yes.
If I simply provide information, if we simply understand what it is that what we seek in a vitamin mineral supplement, it's vitamins and minerals, and some of us don't even understand that fundamental difference or fundamental definition of what a vitamin is, what a mineral is. Whether minerals like calcium or magnesium or manganese or selenium or chromium or zinc, those minerals are not something we produce. Those are elements that we need to take in our diet, and our diet doesn't deliver them anymore in abundance. Even more difficult are the vitamins, that the foods we eat are now established as not providing the same levels of nutrients even that they did a couple of decades ago. And we all know that we're not eating sufficient amounts of fresh fruits and vegetables, which are abundant sources of those vitamins. So our vitamin status as human beings suffers each year, only gets worse and worse. That's what the research underscores. So a multivitamin, multimineral becomes very important. What I was going to show on just the 3 critical carotenoids, lutein, lycopene, zeaxanthin, the leading multivitamins, these are among the most expensive ingredients in any multivitamin. We provide 1,000, 1,500 of them. If you look at all the leading brands, basically Centrum Silver and One A Day Men's provides 300 micrograms. lycopene, and that's because it supports prostate health. It's also relevant for women as well.
Right.
It's also concentrated in women's reproductive tissue as well. Lutein, critical for our eyes, also critical for reproductive tissue, the protection of our skin. Zeaxanthin, also critical for eyes. These are what define the retina, the macular pigment in the retina of our eye. So if you look at these, 0, almost completely 0, a couple, and 0. And as we go to, unfortunately, if you look at, and this is a perfect example, if you look at the knockoffs that are the most popular vitamins really in America, the knockoffs of the leading brands, they just copy the leading brands. So again, most are 0, a couple of 300s, again, most are 0, a couple of 250s, and then only one product. That's incredible. From GNC's Women's Ultra Mega, they have a little bit of zeaxanthin, which is great.
And folks, for those looking at home, I hope you can see on your television, there's Kirkland on there, Walgreens, GNC, Target. I mean, this is fascinating.
It's not my goal, again. I'm not disparaging those brands. A fact is a fact. That because, in my understanding, the expense, because my understanding is these companies in the past, the leading multivitamin companies have spoken to the makers of zeaxanthin, but zeaxanthin has just been too expensive for them to incorporate it into their products.
Right.
And I know that those conversations took place over a decade ago, at least according to the suppliers of zeaxanthin. And unfortunately, because the leading brand manufacturers didn't include zeaxanthin, all those big brands that copy them didn't follow suit. So unfortunately, whether we're looking at zeaxanthin or lycopene or lutein, or whether we're looking at the proper form of B12, all of those things basically are done the way they've been done pretty much for decades. So the products really haven't evolved, really haven't changed significantly. So if you want a different experience that respects the biochemistry, that respects the science that's been published of late, you want a product that delivers the separate vitamin D. With 2,000 IU vitamin D3, I say where you start, the minimum level is 1,000. At 2,000, you're getting 2,000 IU that will make a significant difference in your blood level of vitamin D. You're getting the level of B12 you require to make a significant difference as well. So it truly is the only way to go about delivering the vitamins, minerals you need, and do it in a fashion that's not going to be a problem, that will be easy to swallow, that won't upset your stomach, that's also not a burden to the planet. Everything I make in this facility, even all the lights for this broadcast, it's all driven by the solar energy that we create here. This facility has no carbon footprint at all. We even go to the extent of offsetting the carbon footprint of all our shipments and all our deliveries. So we are a company that hasn't had a carbon footprint since its inception. And so if you care about the planet, whether you care about climate change or the planet, we make sure that the production of our products is not an insult to the planet. Not only is it going to be a pleasure for you, but it's also a pleasure for the planet.
It's just so thoughtful. There's so much thought that goes into every aspect, many of which we explored on Monday night shows, but it's a feel-good all the way around. I'm conscious that our time is running out. This is where we're looking and standing in terms of pricing. 50, 100, or 200, or 400. For the best multivitamin in the world today, and really, as you can see, it stands alone. It is unequaled by any other. When you put them side by side, we would always choose Essential One. If we're going to do it, if we're going to take one capsule a day of anything, we'd choose Essential One. If you just want to try it, we would love that. We certainly would embrace that. The special on the small is $17.90, saves you $12. 100 today is $29.90, saves you $25. 200 just $49.90, saves you nearly as much at $45. And then, of course, this is just insane. It's remarkable. 400 caps, which is a unique size to today, only available today, is $79.90.
And the reason why we do that, we want to make sure that you only have to purchase this as part of a Today Special. So it will last you until next year when we do a Today Special again. This is only a Today Special once a year, where the volume that we produce justifies and enables us to do it so efficiently that that's the savings you get to experience. And it's better than a buy one, get one free savings. Right. What I was going to do is read some reviews. I just grabbed some charts. I think I grabbed some new ones that I haven't read, because I do have a few hundred of them with us.
There's plenty to choose from.
Yes. So, awesome product, doctors impressed. Even my primary medical doctor was impressed with this. Having it in a powder form so my body can get all the vitamins instead of those hard, solid pills that end up passing through and out of your body before they're even all used. I noticed my doctor reading the label when I showed him the bottle, and he liked what he read. Must be a real item. I'll keep ordering this, that is for sure, from Rusty in California.
Fabulous.
The absolute best. I love these and all of Andrew's vitamins. I had bypass surgery done 10 years ago, and taking vitamins are mandatory and essential to good health after. However, I had a problem because all other vitamins made me sick.
Interesting.
We read that all the time. Even if I took them at night and with food. I take 3 types of his vitamins every morning and sometimes not with food. And I have never had a problem. I feel so much better, and my doctor is happy that I have finally found a vitamin I could take. If you have had problems in the past with vitamins, try these. I think you'll be happy you did. Thank you so much, Andrew. That's great.
They read like love letters. I love it.
Oh, they're all so well written. A must, we don't edit them. A must for your daily regimen. I have taken this for a year. This product does not upset your stomach, does not make you hungry, and does not leave a bad taste in your mouth. I recently had my annual physical, and my doctor was amazed with all my blood work totals. The totals have improved and are within range. My husband and family members are now taking this, and I can feel the difference.
Fabulous.
Great product. I shared the label with my doctor, who said he thought it was great. This has things in it that I was taking supplements of anyhow, so I've been able to cut down on buying extra products in the stores.
There you go.
Certainly B12, vitamin D, many cases vitamin C. Wow. All I could say is wow. I've tried many different vitamins, and Essential One is the bomb. I've been taking this for about 6 months, and I don't feel the need for the daily naps, and I always get compliments on my nails. That's because it has levels of biotin, just like our healthy hair, skin, and nails from a couple of decades ago. And hair, because they're growing so fast, which has never happened with the other ones. My doctor loves my test results, and so do I. Thank you. Great vitamins. My doctor said he could see a marked improvement in my vitamin D3 levels, as well as a better overall healthy blood test. I also use the Ultimate Eye Support capsules, and my eye doctor reports improvement there as well. From Debs in California. Quality product. Andrew, I'm recovering from breast cancer, and so I truly appreciate you improving on an already outstanding product. I took my container to the doctor, and she was very impressed. This is my 2nd year on Essential One, and I'm convinced that between this and the Ultimate Friendly Flora, I am in better health today. These are great. And there are like thousands of them like this. Thousands.
It's like we said, though, Andrew, before. There's life pre-Andrew and after Andrew.
Oh, that's what I said before. My parents say that too. Feeling the difference. I've been taking Essential One for more than a year, and at first I didn't seem to notice a difference. The difference was well noted in my yearly blood work. My levels were the closest to normal they had been in years. Wow. I continued taking Essential One until one day the container was empty. Oh boy, my order couldn't get here fast enough. I really noticed a difference without them. I was tired, sluggish, and moody. Happily, I received them, started taking them again, and am feeling better. My family is happy they arrived too. I even got family members to try them. One more, gastroenterologist approved. And again, typical multivitamins are sort of a gastroenterologist nightmare.
Right.
They're challenging to the stomach. They're irritating. The tablet can sit there and irritate an already irritated stomach that so many of us deal with. We talked about GERD. Typical vitamin C just adds acid. My husband and I have been taking Essential One vitamins for over a year. We're in our late 60s and belong to a gym and work out 3 times a week. I feel these are a safe vitamin to take since they don't have any sugar or common allergens in them. They don't have any additives at all. I have celiac. Of course, all of my products are gluten-free. I have celiac and Crohn's disease, and they have never caused any gut discomfort. I've had 2 doctors look at them, and they felt it was a good quality vitamin. We just ordered 2 bottles of the 360 capsules from Candy in Ohio.
I mean,
great.
it just, and it's on and on. The folks, there's 3,300 reviews, the majority of which are 4 and 5 stars online at HSN. It's funny when Andrew said about that, my mum has often said about vitamins that she can't take them because it irritates her, she's got GERD. Not with this, because it isn't in the same form that we're so used to doing. There's a lot of reviews in there that talk about loved ones and family members. Who in your family doesn't eat all that perhaps they should eat, all the healthier things that perhaps we know we need to give our body? This is something that we should give to them. We love them. We want them to live their best life, their healthiest life. If you know somebody that never touches a vegetable, never goes near a salad, you need to get this for them and make sure they're doing it. For those of us who are looking to just maximize our outlook, our feeling, give our body the nourishment that it needs, an essential multivitamin is important. This is the best you can buy in the world. There is no other one that we could even put on the same mantle as this. From the way it's manufactured, to the ingredients, to the levels, to the science, to the purity. There's no fillers or colors or additives or anything else. Just before we wrap up, I want to let you know the pricing. Most people naturally, of all the vitamins that we offer, one of the most important to do in terms of getting the larger size is obviously Essential 1, because we take 1 per day. That 400 size, oh, wrong chart, this one, is a fabulous value. And I like that you give us a few extra, Andrew, not just 365.
So it gives a little bit of a cushion in case someone else might dig into your stash, you want to save them. But we will do the Today Special in about a year's time. There won't be a Today Special on this again until 2020.
Wow.
Even saying 2020 sounds like a weird year, but there won't be, that's 2020 vision. It's also the year. So there won't be a Today Special again until 2020. We'll do a brief recap of it at the end of the second hour, the hour coming up, and that will be it. We have plenty available in the large size. We always bring in far more, probably we bring in about 65% in the large size. So we're limited in the smaller sizes, but we'll have plenty in the large size for the second hour.
Well, as we head over to this, I think we should walk and talk about vitamin K2 MK7, Andrew, because we don't have any more presentation time on it, but it is our other Today Special.
It's our other Today Special. I just wanted to let everyone know we have about 100 left in each of the sizes.
Oh boy.
So that is it. So we just have 100 left in each of the sizes of vitamin K2 MK7. So that's the vitamin that the more you'll read about it, the more you'll really want to take advantage of it. But that's last call on that, so last opportunity. But we do, as I said, we have plenty of the large size, which is by far the most popular of the Essential 1 that we'll talk about at the end of the second hour. Well,
I mentioned my mom just now. The product that she stocks up on every time she comes to America, and she'll be visiting me next week, is this one, Circulation and Vein Support. There are simply fans, love letters that will send Andrew notes about how this has changed the way they feel in terms of swelling, in terms of aching, in terms of nighttime, where your legs just won't sit still, as it were. This is a product that's going to look to change that with such fabulous feedback. Circulation and Vein Support. This, like all of Andrew's products, are on special pricing, and I do want to stress that. Beyond our today's specials, everything in the assortment, it might be Breath Plus, it might be Omega, it might be Circulation and Vein Support, everything gives you a special saving if you're ordering today, right?
And yeah, everything, whatever you might find at hsn.com in our entire product line, and nothing is at HSN pricing during the visit, and our visits are brief.
Yes.
Typically the visits start, we start our pricing on Friday and the visit ends on Sunday evening. We're going to do a Monday night show tomorrow, so, but typically the pricing is just for 1 or 2 days at most, and that's really just 4 times a year, 2 weekends. So only about 10, 12 days a year of special pricing, but we make sure when we do that, everything is on special pricing, everything is on event pricing. So whatever you choose, whatever you might want to reorder, even if I don't talk about it on air, it's available at special pricing. In terms of circulation and vein support for healthy legs, this is a product we introduced over 20 years ago. Right. It's an ingredient that we had to bring to America. The key ingredient in this product, diosmin, was not available in America. In fact, it's my understanding that most of the diosmin in America is offered by us. We are the predominant supplier of diosmin in America. In fact, once you leave America, the predominant suppliers of diosmin out there are all pharmaceutical. Doctors recommend and prescribe the product, and it's it's not a drug here. The ingredient is a natural ingredient. It's a product that we offer for the natural benefits it delivers, just it's regulated differently once you leave the U.S. if you're in Asia or if you're in Europe. So it's fascinating that here in America, because this is truly an unbelievable ingredient.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I say that I almost feel it's incumbent upon me to somehow educate more people about it. For those of you who know me from HSN over the years, you've discovered the remarkable benefits of this product. It's another product that I think is a 4.5 or 4.6 star product, and it comes with a serious promise of benefits in terms of noticing a difference in how your feet, ankles, and calves look and how they feel at the end of the day, throughout the day. And that promise is delivered upon. That's why the reviews are so incredible. But it's unfortunate that my company is a small company that doesn't have, we don't have a very loud voice. I have no advertising budget. I just come here, talk about a product, and for those of you, I think, fortunate enough to have learned about this product, that's what you'd say. You're fortunate enough to have learned about this product. And it truly is a remarkable product in terms of the benefits it delivers. See the difference, feel the difference, benefits it delivers. I encourage you to read the reviews. They are perhaps the most excited and compelling of all the reviews of all the products I make.
And as I said, no bigger fan than my mom. My mom, God bless her, God love her, because she swears by this, and she says that her legs look better, her veins look better. She feels that it looks just overall, she feels more confident about it. Not enough hours in the day. If she was here, and she would be scared to death to stand in front of these cameras, but even she'd get out here and talk about it. I'd love for you to try it. Circulation and vein support pricing looks a little bit like this. We have 4 sizes again. You can choose the 30, the 60, the 180, or the 360. The price, the price is obviously sensational, but it becomes irrelevant for what this does. Life-changing. You might be on your feet all day, you might be a nurse, you might be a teacher, you might be running around after your kids or your grandkids. You might have often struggled with just swelling and discomfort, and you know that how that can truly bring your day down, or you just don't like the way, things are looking. Veins and your legs, maybe just as of late we're starting to see the signs of aging, as we all do. My hair's thinning. The reality is this product, diosmin, as Andrew said, that key ingredient, it works wonders, and that's why we're always so proud to put on our graphics. You're talking about see the difference, feel the difference in just a matter of days. That's what's remarkable, Andrew.
Yeah, and it is the typical reviews when we're discussing how long it takes to see a benefit. Typically, what you read is several days to just a week or two.
Right.
So a 30-day money-back guarantee is an abundance of time, plenty of time, and you won't be returning it. And I say that with confidence just because I see how little of this product ever gets returned. It's among the lowest. Well, my products are the lowest returned products at HSN. Circulation, vein support, healthy hair, skin, and nails, CoQ10, Essential 1 are by far the lowest return products. Talking about insignificant return rates. But what I was going to read here on this product, which is 4.6 star rated product, over 90% positive reviews. If you look at the words that predominate, there are 2,852 reviews. Of those 2,852 reviews, well over 1,000 of them talk about discomfort, talking about an improvement in discomfort. 232 talk about leg cramps. 137 use the word relief. 128 talk about their legs being restless no longer.
Right.
907 say thank you. 843 refer to the product as great. 601 out of 2,852 use the word love in terms of the product or its benefits. So it's really, again, I think it gives you a sense of how consistent and how unanimous the reviews are for this product. It truly delivers. And I wasn't content to take this one ingredient that has the diosmin with hesperidin, that has this incredible science, this compelling science behind it. What I did is added other ingredients that share similar mechanisms: pine bark extract, grapeseed extract, and of course, most importantly, butcher's broom extract. So as great as this product was when I introduced it 20 years ago, as compelling as the clinical science is throughout the last few decades, this product even goes beyond the science, because the science only focuses on the 2 key ingredients. We take it one step further.
life is too short to struggle along with things that perhaps we don't have to, and that's why it's always important to convey that. I love it when Andrew goes through those lists of the number of people that say them, because they're real reviews, unedited reviews. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything is there, and that's really important. Transparency, that's what's key. Andrew reads and listens to everything that you say and make sure that your products never stand still either.
Well, no, I've made products that were poorly reviewed.
Right.
But you know what happened to them? They went away.
Right.
If you give me bad reviews, I'm not doing my job well. So I have to go back to the drawing board until I make a product that gets good reviews. So I think that's just simply being smart, because my job is to serve you. These products are made for no other purpose than to deliver their benefits to you. And if you don't feel they're beneficial, then that product needs to go away until I can make it in a fashion that you deem beneficial. But let's just read a couple of reviews before we run along. Wow, what a wonderful product. I've suffered from swelling and discomfort in my legs and feet every day since and before I had my knees and hips replaced. Wow. This product really works for me. It has taken away that creepy feeling and leg jerking at night too. Probably speaks to so many different folks. I mean, sure. We're all sort of on borrowed time until it's very. I was talking to someone who he says his job now is to see how long he can go without having to require spare parts. This is someone I work out and train with who's older than me and who's incredibly